Hello everyone, my name is Jeffrey and welcome back for episode 55 of the Satisfactory series here on YouTube. In this video I'm taking on a special challenge of heavy modular frames but no alternate recipes allowed. Breaking it down into two parts today, we're starting with all the smelting and the steel production needed for 20 frames per minute. These will be utilized in a future space elevator build. Thank you all for the support and help with the series so far. Let's get to playing games. Alright everybody, welcome back to another episode. And this one's going to be, well, it's going to have to be split into a two-parter. We're doing the heavy modular frames at 20 per minute. However, for some silly reason, I'm doing no alternate recipes, as you may have heard me say in the intro. Just for fun, just to try something out. And I think I remember them saying that the heavy modular frame recipe is actually going to be changing going forward in 1.0, so I figured, hey, what better time to try the old recipe out than right before it gets taken away. So we need hundreds of constructors. We're going to be pumping out thousands of screws, so a couple thousand steel ingots. It's going to be quite the build. So yeah, I'm gonna have to split it up in two parts today. We're going to start with the steel foundries, the iron smelters, the beam pipe. So basically we're going to take care of all the steel, and then we're going to be doing the concrete as well, and then we'll just do it's like 100 iron smelters. It's going to be quite a bit. I did go ahead, if you were looking to follow along, I did go ahead and put in the Google Drive the empty platform that I've got set up. I'll show you guys when we get over there. If you're looking to follow along exactly, there is an empty platform for you set up ready to go for when we get over there. But if you're just looking to follow along with the recipe and maybe build it in your own way, put your own spin on it, the Satisfactory Calculator Planner is in the description as well, for you guys to use. But without further ado, let's get into it. Before we head over there, I'll talk about what we're going to need. You're probably going to want to put some storage bins over there because we're going to need quite a bit of things. And we'll probably make some blueprints once we get going too, because we're going to need some foundries and some smelters, and I don't really think I have too many blueprints for them yet anyway. So maybe we'll do a couple of blueprints before we get started, and then we'll go from there. Alright, actually I guess our list for today isn't so bad. You're going to be using about 77 constructors, 18 assemblers, 46 foundries, and about 100 smelters. All these numbers are give or take one or two, depending on if I add one or subtract one, just to make my numbers more even. But that should be about all you need, so you'll easily be able to fit this in your inventory. The only other thing you're going to need is a lot of stuff for belts. So we'll probably just we'll load up on Mark V stuff. We'll just grab ourselves a buttload of aluminum sheets, and that way we can keep everything nice and simple as we're putting things together. It's going to be a lot of blueprints anyway. And then you'll also need probably a good amount of constructors and mergers, so you need to bring plenty of iron plates and stuff along. But other than that, we're going to be heading on out to the north of the this was our copper powder factory. We're going to be going just north of that, where I've pre-built a tower out here in the red sand dunes. And sorry, I thought the recording crashed on me. So yeah, we're going to be heading out into the red sand dunes over here for the second time now. There's plenty of iron nodes out there. Speaking of which, we need almost 5,000 iron ore per minute to feed this system. That's the whole thing about not using any alternate recipes. We need a lot of stuff, and a lot of machines. It could be much smaller and much more condensed if you want to use alternate recipes, but if you're like me and just want to have some fun, then today is your day. We're going to be loading up on machines. So make sure you get everything you're going to need for these. Good little handful we're going to be starting with today, and I will meet you guys over in the red sand dunes. Alright, welcome to the tower. Here we are in the red sand dunes. I think I'm going to, in 1.0, I'm going to not use the human hyper tube cannons as much. I mean, as convenient as they are for like throwing you in really far directions really fast, the amount of times my game crashes now when I use them is getting pretty bad. So I think even now I'm probably going to stop using them as much. But welcome to the tower in the red sand dunes. These are the things I have prepared ready. So if you're looking to follow along, this will be, I think it's labeled HMF empty platform or something like that in the Google Drive. So if you just download that and start from there, you should actually start standing right here on the platform. And I do have everything here set up ready to go miner wise. So like I said, you're going to need, what was it, 4,950 iron ore per minute. So that is split into separate lines here because you need 2,050 going to your steel line, and then you need the 2,900 going to just make iron ingots. So I've split those down. The green miners that are over here, they're all clocked to 410, and there's 5 lines of those. They're all labeled there as well. And then the red ones that are all on this side, they do 5 lines of 580, and that was just, I did, you could definitely do less belts. I just did it this way, so I had but they'd end up being decimal numbers. So I did it this way, so we had very specific numbers to work with, very exact and even, and it should make setting this up a whole lot easier. Then we come on over to the other side here where I've got it labeled as well. You've got 5 lines of the white. They are 410 coal. That is going to get mixed with the 5 lines of 410 iron ore over there to be making our steel. And then the 2 blue lines down here are 750 limestone each. Those just came from 2 pure limestone miners, one there and one's tucked in back over there. We'll go over the miner numbers really quick here, but the only ones I haven't brought up yet is the limestone, because I don't know specifically where in the tower I'm going to be bringing them in. These ones worked out really well because the coal comes in right here. I'll probably end up putting the foundries right about here. And then we'll bring, since I was smart enough to put the green lines on the inside so they can just kind of come in and go that way. So they can mix with the coal, and the red ones can go, I don't know, we'll kind of figure out where we want to set things here for the iron smelters. But that's why I'm doing the steel foundries first. I have a better idea how much room they take up, and then where I can put the 100 iron smelters that I need. And then the remaining space on this floor will be for the concrete constructors. Or if there's remaining space, I guess. If you're wondering how big the tower is, they are 40 by 40 platforms of my, I just used my blueprint. So I did 10 of my blueprint down, 10 of my blueprint that way. The one with the subfloors in between. Then I did a stack of 10, 4 meters. So there's 40 meters in between the floors here to give enough room for all the machines. And then how many floors do? 1, 2, 3, 4 floors. I think that should be enough. Worst case scenario, I can always add another floor. It's actually kind of good. Like when you're shooting yourself over here with the hypertube cannon, you can actually see the top of the tower here. It's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get ourselves started today by quickly going over your miners. So the green ones, these are all set to 410 per minute, like I said earlier. Basically an easy way of explaining it is each line is 1 miner. So the red ones are all set to 580, and then the green ones are all set to 410. Same thing with these ones over here, since every belt is a singular miner. So you got the 2 lines of these are all limestone are clocked to 750, and all of your coal that you've tapped over here is all going to be set to 410. There's 3 right here, and then just up over the edge of the cliff there is 2 more down there that we tapped and sent those all the way along here. Yeah, it's a little bit of a distance for the belting work, but I think it's going to work out really nicely, and hopefully we don't make any mistakes going along the way, because these are going to be a lot of machines to try and have to troubleshoot at the end. So now that the sun is up, let's make some blueprints, shall we? So we're up here on the top floor. We're going to make smelter blueprint first. I'm going to put in a splitter right down the middle just so I know roughly where I can start putting the smelters in. We're going to go to production. We're going to have our smelters. I'm going to start from right. Make sure this is just where they can go. Okay, so that's good to fit. Or actually here, I should probably move that first. And you know what? Probably be easier if I grab the mergers. We know where the mergers are going to end up going. So that's about as far over as they can go. Try even bringing them in one if I can. And then we'll grab the smelter. Okay, that'd be a real tight squeeze. Okay, so we'll try merger at the back side. Everybody going that way. We'll try and face them all forwards. Okay, so I mean, either way, it's a tight squeeze. So you can either decide if you want to have more of a gap in the back, more of a gap in the front. I'm going to go more of a gap in the front. Then I'm going to grab my belts. I'm going to connect those up together. I'm going to set this to iron ingot. And I won't worry about the underclocking or anything yet. We'll do that as we get, like, as we set things up, because most of them can probably just stay doing. Well, if we can fit, let's see how many we can fit. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we can have a 10. That means we can pump, like, each of these can pump out 300 per minute. That'll work. So let's just go ahead and fill the rest of these splitters, mergers, and belts in. I can copy and paste this to the other side as well. So it's like that. 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll stick the splitters in here. Just a bit of a tight squeeze. Still just want to make sure that it's sending everything forwards. I put all of those splitters in wrong. Whoops. Here we go. It can be hard to tell when you're like building things right on top of each other. We'll just put our belts in there. I don't have to use Mark 5 belts. I just am because that's what keeps my inventory a little bit cleaner. Do all those go up for some reason? What? What is? Okay, I'm gonna figure out what happened there. There's some sort of weird shenanigans happening right here. I don't know why it's being so weird, but let's try this again. Let's try putting in smelters. And we'll try the splitters. And hopefully these aren't raised up a little bit again. Doesn't look like they are. Should just be straight in instead of going up. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we've got it fixed. Great, so we're going to set all these belts up now. Oh no, I put this one on backwards. All over the place today. Okay, so don't build your blueprint like I am, but maybe if you want, just wait, what is? Here we go. Maybe just download it from my. I'll try and update them in my Google Drive, so hopefully they'll be there. So now we can put the mergers on the back. Going down just like so. The only thing I'll have to do, unless I can squeeze it. Oh, can I squeeze it in here? Is it gonna look terrible? It's gonna look terrible. I'll just put mergers on them. Okay, so now we've got everyone belted and merged up. So really, really tightly packed, nice and tightly packed blueprint system here. So yeah, you want to set all of these to do the iron ingots like everyone else is. Then we're going to throw in some power lines really quick, and that'll be all finished. All right, power is taken care of. So now those can all be. Oh wait, I don't think I actually hooked that up to there. There we go. So now these modules can be put down, and each one can pump out 300 iron ingots per minute, which should help us out. There may be. So I think the one line was 1500, so that'll actually work out really nicely. I think the one was like 1350, so we may have to do like slight underclocking, or yeah, I'm not really sure how that'll we'll figure it out when we get there. But that is going to be our smelter blueprint, so we're going to go ahead and we'll name that the iron smelter times 10. 10 iron smelters. With power done. Okay. So we'll go select icon, smelters, make it pink. Why not? And then we'll go put it into the production area. There we go. Oh, pink was supposed to be for packages. Ah, whatever. It's fine. Okay, now that that's done, we can go ahead and clear that one. Clear the designer. And now we will make one for some foundries. I think foundries you can fit in what? Groups of, probably fit groups of 6 in here? Let's find out. So production, grab our foundries. Let's just start from here. Oh, right. I should probably do the splitters first. Okay, so one splitter just to know where we can actually put the foundries in. And then we'll go... We'll just snug it up here against the back wall. Make sure I have enough room here on the back for mergers. Should I put the merger on the back again? I probably should. So merger on the back, just so we know how much room we have. And then foundry gets slid in between. Speaking of foundry, how many people out there have been playing foundry? I've heard really good things about it, but I've also heard that it is still in early access, so you can run out of things to do pretty quickly. But I mean, that was the same thing used to be for Satisfactory. I mean, I remember when Satisfactory first dropped and I was done everything they had in like a day. I mean, and think about we were like 50 plus episodes deep now, 300 plus hours. It's getting pretty good. And I mean, we could be, if I still had the time, or if I still had the computer processing ability to do more cosmetics, we'd probably be a little bit more further behind than we are now, but either way, still enjoying myself. Okay, so we got, this actually fits a lot more nicer. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3 foundries. I need to actually get to actually putting this build together, otherwise people are gonna be like, man, he took like 6 hours to actually get the episode started. So let's grab our splitters, make sure they're coming in from the right way. And we'll have to do, I think we'll just only be able to get away with the, we'll see how this is going to work. Okay, so it doesn't like that. We're going to figure that out. I don't think I can fit a lift in there. So let's figure this out, shall we? Let's go put the merger back here. And then maybe shift the foundry forward a little bit, if I even can. Does it clip? I mean, barely. Kinda, sorta. Well, let's see if this even works. So let's go grab our belt here and try and bring it down. Let me click on it. There we go. Okay, so, I mean, trade-off. And I mean, it doesn't really look like it clips that much. But at least then I can actually get the belts into the foundries. I mean, I suppose the only way around it would just be... I don't know. I mean, I guess you could, like, turn... Well, I mean, if you weren't doing, like, if you weren't trying to cram 6 in and you just did the 3, which, I mean, I guess I could... Well... No, because then that'll just be way more work down the line. We'll do the 6. So yeah, we'll just cram. We'll move these foundries forward just a little tiny bit. And then we'll just have the... They're like barely clipping into the machine. It's a very soft clip. It'd be cool if like one day you could straight up just attach splitters and mergers to the machines, but I don't think, I think they, can't remember if they mentioned it or not. I think they decided to not ever do that. Maybe I'm just making things up. I can't really remember. Here, so we'll finish this now. We go 2 stack there. Then we remove the bottom ones here. Put a belt all the way down along the bottom. Connected to your machines. Then we'll put the top ones in. Oops. There we go. So now we just got to do the same thing on the other side here. All right, there we go. So yeah, this one was definitely a bit of a tight squeeze. Still got to add power into this one as well. But we'll start setting this up. No using the alternate recipes. We're going straight steel ingot. You can do underclocking and overclocking. That's technically not part of this challenge I've given myself. The only challenge is just none of the alternate recipes, which makes this just so much more work. So many screws. Thousands and thousands of them. So now we're just going to throw some power in here. How am I going to do this one? Gotta squeeze this in somewhere. Let's grab our blueprint that I'm using. Power frame end piece. And we'll have to probably nudge it in here somehow. Go like that. Ooh, that actually fits nicely. So let's go there. And then on the end, use the green line to line it up and then just slide it into position like that. We'll put it there. You just want to connect the rest of it with paint to beam. Then we're throwing wall outlets. Just in case no one has seen me make this one before. And then just connect everyone up. And that'll be our steel foundry blueprint. What do those make? So this would be 6 times 45. I can't do that math. I'll have to use the calculator. Oh, I didn't realize. Oh, I think I may have not connected all the power in the other blueprint. So we're going to save this one as steel refinery times 6. Or not refinery, dummy. Foundry. There we go. Steel foundry. Powered and belted. There you go. I'm just loading up this blueprint really quick. And I was correct. I did not connect that in together. So there we go. That's done now. That'll be... Oh, you dumb man. I didn't save it. There we go. Okay. So yeah, once we are put this on for now the second time, we can save it. And that'll be all our... I'm trying to hit clear designer again. That'll be all of our blueprints that we're going to need for today at least. I mean, you could preset some of the constructor ones for some of the things we're going to be doing, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Anyway, now we can finally get on with the... I'm like half an hour into this video, and we're finally actually going to do our first step of setting up some steel foundries. Hey, let's go. Okay, so we're going to go... I think it would probably make sense to just do it from this corner since the coal's over here and the iron that we need is on the inside. So let's grab our blueprints, production, and our steel foundries. So when we're laying down our steel foundries, the way I think I'm going to split it up is I need one group of I need a group of 450 going to make some steel. Yeah, 450 is going to go to make some steel pipes, and then 1600 is going to go to make some steel beams. So we're going to have, and each one, what did I say? 45 times 6, 270. Okay, so we'll do 2 of the blueprints, and then we'll just downclock it a little bit because 2 of them would be like 270 times 2, like 540, something like that. So just have to take off 90. That's not bad actually. So basically just turn off two of the foundries. So like I said, 2 of these, we'll do 1. And then maybe I can just clip them right next to each other. Make sure they're facing the right way. There we go. Cool. So those will be making 450. And then so I can just turn off. If I need to take off 90, then turn off 2 of them. That's fine. I mean, you could delete them if you want to, but that also works. I just turn 2 of them off. Just don't forget if you're looking over things later on, be like, oh, why are these ones off? And then turn them on by mistake. These are supposed to, you know what? We'll color code them so that we remember they're supposed to be off. And then the next one, we need 1,600. So 1,600 divided by 45 is that many, which is not a nice number. So we'll do 1,600 divided by, if each one makes 270, 1,600 divided by 270, that means I need to do 6 of these, and then there'll just have to be a little bit of downclock in them as well. So let's go ahead and we'll grab 6 of my blueprint here. We'll give ourselves a little bit of a gap so we actually know who's who. We'll go along the same line though, these just with a little bit of a gap in between. Actually, that's probably, somebody do what I need. I need to put down 6 of these, right? Need to make sure I have enough room. I think I could probably put them from here. We'll go 1, 2, 3. Let me over. 4, 5, and 6. Oh my god, I had just enough room for that. Perfect. So those are all the steel foundries that we need to have set up. We'll have to figure out how we're going to connect them up. I won't let this autosave go by. Just thank you guys again, first of all. So we just passed 800 subscribers. Crazy. We're way beyond anything I really ever imagined at this point. And I'm just enjoying the ride. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Looking forward to the 1.0 start, and didn't really ever think that people would be building along with me, and I don't think I took that into good enough consideration going along here. So I'll definitely try and do a better job of that in the 1.0 start, for people who are looking to follow along. And we'll probably have some more fun. Maybe try and build things with the optimization. Maybe try and build some things on a slightly bigger scale. We'll see how things end up going. But thank you guys again so much for being here and supporting the channel. Alright, so also during the autosave, I was just trying to figure out how I was going to split these up, because I need 1,600 steel ingots coming out of here, right? Now, even if I split that in half, that's still too many for me to try and move all at once. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split them into groups of 2, and each 2 is going to put out 400. So we're going to do 400 divided by the 12. It's 333, or sorry, 33.33333. I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to go to the output on this one, paste it in there, copy the settings, and then paste that onto everyone here. Actually, yeah, that's all these foundries along here. So you can paste it on to everyone in the bigger group here. And then these guys can just stay the way they are. So now each group of 2 should output 400 in total. That should make things a little bit easier for me. We'll kind of see how things end up working out. But that is the steel foundries technically done off the to-do list. Other than I need to figure out how we're actually going to move the amount of materials that are going to be hooked up here, because it's 2,050 is going to feed this whole system here. So we're going to figure out how we're going to do this. This group is going to need 45 times 10. So this one will need 450 each. That shouldn't be too bad. We'll just have to take a little bit from We'll just have to do a little bit of line sharing and splitting along here. And then actually it'll be a lot easier for over here because these ones will need... So these ones will need about 400 each. So that should be a little bit easier. So basically, I just need to take the little bit that we're going to be losing from each one that feeds that one to feed into this one. It should be pretty straightforward, actually. We'll just have to do a couple of splitters all the way along that eventually merge with whatever line feeds this one. So I think the coal I'm actually going to bring up to directly onto this floor. We have a little bit, yeah, we have a little more room for like the splitting and everything down below. So let's figure that out first. So yeah, we need each of these lines. So we'll take all the 4 on the outside and they can go down this way. And what I'll do is I'll just put a smart splitter on each of them and I'll just set the I'll set it to do like send the 410 through, and then once it gets back we'll set the other one to overflow, so it'll take out all the ones it's supposed to take out specifically. It doesn't, you could also just use a normal yeah, we'll just use normal splitters, still save materials. So each of these lines will have to hit a splitter that will feed onto a merger on this inside line. So that means I'm going to need 4 mergers for this one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in this first one here. Put it in about right there. And then we'll put them kind of just split apart going down here. So there's 4. And then I'll grab splitters for everybody. So this one we'll just do... Okay, there we go. Sorry, it took me a minute to figure this out. And it is, I mean, not necessarily the cleanest way of doing it, but it'll work. So basically what's going to happen is these lines will feed, like all the 410 lines will feed up. This one will just get this one there, and then so the ones on the left all hit a splitter, and those splitters all hit a merger onto the one line here. It'll give it the extra it needs. I think in order to, if you do it this way, technically this miner will end up getting backed up and not running properly. So I think technically what you actually need to do is actually you need to make these smart splitters. So put the smart splitters in there. So your center output is going to be any undefined, and then your left output, which has the lift attached to it, is going to be the overflow. So when these lines get backed up right from here, it'll send the overflow onto this belt. So you'll just have to wait for the 4 lines to back themselves up, and then the 5th line will back itself up properly as well. So there should be a proper way of balancing it. This isn't like a split evenly balanced. That would take a lot more work and a lot more space to figure out. But if you're up for it, go ahead and give it a shot and let me know, like in the Discord, how it works out. Give like send me some pictures or some of your worlds saved to check out. Yeah, that should keep the miners all working at least at 100%, and that'll back your lines up properly. So now, yeah, on the back side, will now have 5 lines of. Or sorry, I was describing that incorrect. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of 400 eventually, and then the other one will be 450. Okay, now I confused myself with that. It's gonna make, but we got to make sure that this belt on the inside, or whatever you want to call it, inside outside, that is going to be the higher belt. That's going to be for feeding this system right here. It's going to have to get fed into a splitter from below here somewhere at some point. And then these 4 lines can all run over here. Each 4 is going to feed a line of 2. So you'll take one of those, feed it up through a floor hole here, through a splitter, and just make sure you leave enough room because we still have to bring up the iron from over here as well. Still haven't figured out quite, are probably going to have to do the similar balancing as we did on that side. Actually, it's going to have to be the exact same thing as we did on this side because they take the exact same numbers. So we're going to have to do this for a second time over here. There's definitely like cleaner and smaller load balancers that I know people have made, but and I kind of wish I hadn't have these, or kind of wish I hadn't had these belts so close together, because that also kind of made this look a little wonky, but learning lessons for the future. There we go. Just wanted to figure out one first, and then we can just kind of copy and paste it all the way down along here. So you're going to have two floor holes coming from down below. One obviously is going to get fed by iron. One's going to get fed by the coal. And then you have a splitter going off in each direction to feed each line evenly. Obviously this line, I mean, technically, if you want to go turn one of these on and then one of these off, just so it's technically more even, we'll do that. There we go. That way it's they'll split more evenly instead of just backing up more one side than the other. But yeah, it's a very simple, easy, clean design here. It's going to be a little bit trickier going forward, trying to figure out how to bring everything together and then split them apart again. But if you just want to go ahead and copy and paste this design onto all of our foundries here, that'll take our steel foundries off our to-do list for today. All right, there we go. We got our inputs for all of our steel foundry lines. Let's go ahead and take that off our first thing off our to-do list for today. I'm like an hour something into this episode, and that's the longest I think I've ever taken to take something off our to-do list. Maybe I may have overshot the amount of things I'm going to be able to complete today. We may not get to the encased beam assemblers. We'll see. I'll try my best for sure. So from here, now we just need to connect. Like I said, that back line is going to connect to a part here. And then, like I said earlier, again, just make sure you leave room. It'll be a little bit more spacious when we get further down. Everything's kind of jumbled up on itself right here. But let's decide, let's go the top one. So all the ones on the right hand side of us here, all the top layers, let's make those ones the coal input. That should make this a little bit easier. So we're just going to grab a lift, put it in right there. That'll let me know. I think it's right on here. So what I'll do is I will put a splitter. Or no, actually I might even be able to just do it this way. We'll do... Yep, that'll work. Okay, so raise that all the way to the ceiling. Do a heart emote. Didn't even know how to do that. I guess T is also for emoting. So we'll link those up. That'll send the 450 coal up to the top there. And then we'll just need a line of 450 iron coming into here. What even is, why is that even like an animation option that shows the, like a vertical belt? That's funny though. Okay, so these 4 belts go on down over here. Try and keep this as clean as we can. We'll just grab our conveyor lift from here. Probably be better actually if we tried to stay more to this side. Actually, I'll do this one facing this way. I'll do it as like the furthest to there. And this one can face to the outside. That'd be 1, 2, and then I need one more belt over here. Wait, do I have too many belts? One there. 1, 2, 3 there. Oh, wait, I have 5. What am I doing? Oh, that's why. I miscounted. So there should be 4 groups of 12 refineries. I'm a dum-dum. It's 1600, so I miscounted. So I need to do one more set of these. Obviously, you don't really have a whole lot of room left here. So I think what I'll do is Yeah, I don't want to have to destroy anything or put like a huge change onto this. So I think what I'll do is I'll just grab a little bit of extra floor here. I'll put in another group here towards the back, and then we'll just send the line going up through the side here. That was my bad. All right, there we go. I just added in another second pocket over here. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that for anyone who is following. I tried to make it so good just to follow along specifically, and I just went ahead and I goofed it all up on you guys. So hopefully this will be a little bit easier now. The only thing, this will make more sense now that since I have 5 belts. So this belt is going to come over here, and then these other 3 are going to go down this way. Like this, yeah, we'll go this outside one, it'll probably go to here. Inside one, probably to there. This one all the way down, and then this one will turn and we'll send over there. Bit of a pain in the butt, but not too bad. So yeah, sorry for anyone who's following along specifically and they're like, wait a minute, I'm missing something. But yeah, we got to figure it out at least. And now we can just connect these belts up underneath, and that'll start bringing in the coal to the system at least. Okay, there we go. We got all the coal belts hooked up underneath, and now we can do the iron ones. I tried to keep all the coal along the ground, so that means we can raise the iron up a little bit. It should keep things a little bit cleaner down here. So I'm going to put in a bunch of these all but the top. I mean, except for this one can obviously come down because it's not going to be in the way of anybody. But turn this one. Actually, probably just connect this one up right here. There we go. There's one of your iron inputs done. There we go. Just banged out the second one too. I dragged it in between these ones. I had this one originally up top, but I just dropped it down. Just makes things a little bit easier. And now we just got 3 more lines to drag over. One there, and one over there. There we go. Okay, now I've got all my belts set up. I almost forgot to do all the load balancing for the one line that needs 450 and the other ones only need 400. But those are all set up going down the line now. So we actually have iron already in the system. We just got to power on the coal. And then we can turn on all these, and then I'll start pumping out all of our steel ingots, all 2,050 of them. And now I at least have a better understanding of how much room I have left for putting in my 100 iron smelters. We're just going to base. I have plenty of room, obviously. We only need the 10 groups of 10, so it should be pretty easy to set up. But we'll kind of figure out how much each one is going to need. Oh, we were so close. So how each one outputs 300. I was thinking my one line needed 1,500. It needs 1,550. So we'll have to probably just overclock. We'll figure it out as we set things up. Yeah, hopefully this is easy to follow along with if anyone needs to know how to build this many modular frames all at once, especially with no alternate recipes. If you're wondering why I'm building 20 heavy modular frames, it's because the assembly system for the phase 4 space elevator part, we need 20 heavy modular frames in order to make 10 of those per minute, and we need 4,000 of them. So okay, so now let's go ahead and grab our blueprint. I'm going to leave a decent amount of space because we have to merge some stuff together and send it up above. So we'll start our blueprint of iron smelters a little bit ways down. Maybe we'll give it like 4 or 5 in between. And this doesn't require a double input, so this won't be quite as hard to get things all set up. I guess I'm going to leave 2 spaces off the back, just so I have room underneath to be running all the belts and everything down. That should give me enough room for those foundries as well. So I need a group that makes 1,550 and a group that makes 1,350. What a bummer. So essentially how this is going to work is I'm going to do, each one does 300. So we would need, yeah, so I should be able to have this like this all for the 1550. I should be able to have it combined into 2 belts. So I may just end up adding the extra 2. We're gonna need like, I think it's an extra 2 constructors that we're gonna need. Oops. So I'm gonna need 1550 divided by 30. Whoops, no, that's not it. 1550 divided by 300. So I need 5 of these blueprint. So let's do that first. There we go. So there's our there's our smelters. That'll make 1,550, or almost. I need to add like an extra 2 onto like one of these, I think. Or it could even just be its own separate little thing off the end. But for the 1350, so we need 4.5 of them. So that means I'm going to put down another 5, and then I'm just going to turn off half of them. Oh no, I'm so dumb. In all my smelter blueprints, I didn't connect all the belts on the mergers. Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and do all that. Oh, sad. But, yeah, either way. Oh, what a bummer. Sorry about that. I'm sure people probably noticed it before I did. But yeah, this is the last group of smelters over here. Like I said, I did another group of 5, and then I just turned off the last of the row because I needed 4.5 of my blueprints technically. And then over here, I'm just going to add on another 2. So these take in 300. Okay, sorry to skip ahead on you guys a little bit for anyone who's following along. The extra 2 I just added on to this end because, so the way it splits up is each line, so we're going to need one line of 600, 600, 360, 600, 600, and then 150. So I'm going to combine, so I'm going to do basically the same thing I did over there, where I'm splitting the line that will take some of these, like, so I'll combine, so there's 6, turning 5 into 6 would be silly. So I'm going to combine this end one with this end one here in terms of like the input of the iron ore. So that'll mean I need 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of 600, and then the other line is just the remainder. So essentially how that'll work is similar to what we did over there, where the one line that comes out will have a bunch of mergers on it, and the other ones will all at some point hit a splitter, or a smart splitter I mean, to feed into, actually wait, no, this is gonna be the other way around, my bad. It's going to be one, the one line is going to get a bunch of, one line is going to get a bunch of smart splitters on it, and then the other lines are all going to, it's going to be the opposite of what we did over here. So it's going to be one line with a bunch of splitters on it so that we can turn the lines of 580 into 600. So I'm going to split the inside line. I think that probably makes the most sense. So what I'll end up doing is, to make it super easy right here, is we'll do, and I'll just kind of show you so you can follow along on the rest of them. There's your smart splitter. You grab your left output, set it to overflow, any undefined. Now I want to grab a merger. I'm going to put that right here facing forwards and connect these two in together. Just like that. So now this is going to split off, and this will eventually be a line of 600. Okay, so I think my current plan is not actually going to work properly. I just did like one line with a bunch of, so I think what I'll do is I'll end up running the line of 580 to the spots where it doesn't need to be 580. So like I'll set up my first line of this and then the one in the end, and then off the end of that line I will add a smart splitter so that all the overflow of, once that's full, will then become its own line that'll have splitters on it that'll feed the other ones. So I'm just going to quickly throw that in, and then I'll go over it just to make sure it makes sense for anyone following along. But yeah, I don't think if you do like multiple smart splitters in a row. So my idea was that it would come up here as a line of 580, right? And then it would fill whatever it was going to do, and then it would start overflowing off like the amounts in, but I don't think it'll overflow off the proper amounts. I mean, maybe it would. Yeah, because I think if I do it this way, it's going to end up like messing up some of the miners. So yeah, I'm going to switch it to just a normal belt all the way down, and then we'll put the mergers and stuff in a little bit later on. Alright, so I had no confidence that either way my setup was going to work there. So all I ended up doing was I changed the one line that feeds this group of 350 and this group of 150 over here. That's now just one miner set to 500, which is that one right there, if you're following along exactly. And then turn all the rest of them up to 600. And that made me not have to do any sort of crazy splitting. I probably could have even done that on the call, but don't worry about that. But in order to have this just be even and not some sort of weird crazy splitting thing, yeah, I just changed all your outside 4 here are all now 600, and the one on the inside is 500. So that still works out, and no one has to do any sort of like crazy backing up or anything, and that'll actually be split nice and even through here. So now we can technically take iron smelter off the to-do list. This was definitely the hardest part of the build, so if you're still with me at this point, I appreciate you. At least from here, the beam pipe constructors and the concrete constructors, it's pretty straightforward. The numbers get a lot smaller, thankfully. That was the hardest part about this, I think, is just being able to split up that couple thousand that you actually need to feed this whole system. But that should work now. We'll worry about putting in the mergers and stuff a little bit later, because there's definitely no way we're going to get to turning this on today. But we can at least move on to our... I'm going to switch it around. I put beam pipe constructors first. I'm going to put in the limestone, like the concrete constructors over here. What did I need? 34 of them. So yeah, there's definitely enough room for them over here. And then I think in the middle... So I was originally planning on doing the steel beam constructors and the steel pipe constructors up on the second floor. But I think I have a good amount of space in the middle here where I can actually just keep it all down here for now. So I think that's what I'll do, is I'll save this middle part for the steel constructors. And then over here, we will put down our limestone ones. So we need, what did I say, 34? So we can go ahead and grab, we'll just use the 4 constructor manifold. And 34 divided by 4 would be 8.5. So we'll do 9 and then just turn 2 of them off. There we go. Super easy. These are all your constructors for your limestone. Sorry if I skipped ahead. I just waited for the night to pass. So it was, I did them in 2, we needed 8.5 of my blueprint. So I did 2 groups of 4, and then I just slapped an extra constructor onto the end of each of them. And that is all the limestone production that you're going to need. So we need, each of these lines is going to send out 500. So we have 16, we have 17 per line here. So it's currently sending out 765. Nope. I don't know why I did that. It's 17 times 15. Each line is putting out 255. So we need to knock 5 off the end here. So these ones you add on the very end, we're just going to drop down to 10 per minute. Just like that. And then now you have a full line coming out of here of 500. That's going to go to the assemblers on the upstairs floor. And that is the concrete constructors all done. Honestly, like I said, it gets a whole lot easier from here. Numbers are a lot smaller and a lot easier to deal with. Where'd my... Uh-oh. There we go. Numbers are a lot smaller, a lot easier to deal with going forward from here. So now that we also know where our limestone ended up being, you're going to want to bring those 2 limestone lines over, looks like to about here. And then each one of these is going to get fed by the line of 750. That's why I thought it was 45, because they intake 45, but they output 45. The original limestone to concrete recipe is so brutal. I think that's why a lot of people start in like the more northerny forest area too, to get like pure limestone nodes, so you can really get like all the concrete you need earlier than what it took me to anyway. But anyway, let's jump into the beam and the pipe constructors. So for this, we need the steel beams, we need about 27 constructors. And then for the steel pipes, you're going to need exactly 15. So let's do the exactly 15 first, which is the steel pipes. And that's going to get fed by this little unit right here. These pump out the 450 that we need. So we can go ahead and slap the... Oh, this is where it's going to suck. So now we're going to have to cross this over with this one, unfortunately. I mean, you could technically switch them around. Not really, because it's not, you'd have to swap around like who's connected to who. But yeah, it shouldn't be too big of a deal here. So what I'll end up doing is I'll just kind of put them, I think, right about here. We'll grab our blueprints again. We'll grab our 4 constructor manifold, and we will slide that right here. And then, so what I'll do is I'll do, there we go, 2 groups of 8, and then with enough room still in between here to send these ones around the outside, because they're going to have to go over and join the rest of them over here for the steel beams. So since I did some extra ones on here, you're going to want to come to the end, because we're going to need to do some downclocking. So I haven't set these up at all yet, but if we have 16 times 20, that is 20 too many. So we're going to grab this one on the end. We're going to drop it down to 10. Same thing on the end here. Drop it down to 10. And then the other ones can just be normal. There we go. And since we actually split this evenly, we're just going to go ahead and put in a merger right here for this one. I'll connect to the other merger here. Oh, I'm going to have to give myself some more room. Hang on. There we go. It was a bit of a tight squeeze, so I had to get a little bit creative, but we now have this line of foundries feeding this line of constructors, and this line of foundries feeding this line of constructors. Since I ended up splitting, like each one has one that's turned off, this will actually work out nicely, because each line just kind of splits and feeds into the other one evenly. So those ones are all ready to go. Our steel pipes are taken care of. And now we can do the beam constructors, in which we're going to need quite a good handful more of those. And then those are going to go out in the front here. So we're going to grab our constructor manifold. We'll do, is it 27? Maybe we'll call it 28. So if we do 4 groups of 7, that'll be enough to take care of all of these. So we'll grab 4 constructor manifold, and what I'll do is I'll just put down two, and then we'll just turn off the one on the end. Okay, so there's our 4 groups of 8, and then we're just going to not turn on the one on the end of all of them. And there we go. We have our steel beam constructors all finished. Turns out I have quite a bit of room still left on this floor, so honestly I'm thinking that I might just do the assemblers down here, because we only need, looks like 17 assemblers. So if I could do like 2 rows of 9 assemblers, make it just 18, and then downclock it a little bit, just so it's nice and even. But I mean, we could do that, I think, like right along here, and that would just fill in this floor a little bit more. We may even just be able to take the top floor of the tower off. So in terms of the rest of the tower, we're looking at Well, this floor is probably just going to have to be all constructors because we need over 100 constructors for iron rods. We need about 100 constructors for screws and about 50 constructors for iron plates. So I think this floor is basically just going to be all constructors. And then up on this floor, looks like we're going to have about 80 assemblers. So yeah, that's probably going to take up the majority of this floor. But I mean, if we can, the 80 assemblers and 10 manufacturers, worst case scenario, we'll just throw the 10 manufacturers on the top floor. So we don't really need to worry about the steel pipes for now. They don't get used until the manufacturer part later on. So this part is just going to kind of sit here and wait until everything else is done. But from here, we can go ahead, and since we did these in groups of 4, you can go ahead and just take your groups of foundries, which are currently, so we have the 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one down there at the very end. You can just run one line from each of them. You'll have to do some mergers to each line of the constructors here. Nice and simple. So I'll show you first one here. We're going to grab this line and this line together. I'll grab them here and I'll just send them. I'll send them out forwards. Why not? And then we'll bring these together like this. And so that'll be a line for these steel beams here. So we're going to come out from here. We're going to come all the way down. Try and keep it as straight as we can. We're going to bring that over. And just right into there. So you're just going to do that for the other groups of the foundries here, and that'll be all hooked up and ready to go. Sorry, I showed you that wrong. You'll need to do mergers. Here's how it's actually going to work. I made a mistake. So we've got a merger here. It's going to be facing off to the right. And then we got a merger here right in the middle. That's going to be facing forward. And then a merger here facing to the left. So that we can go connect you here, you there, and then to there, and you there, you to there, and there. Now it's set up properly. Sorry, I didn't combine enough of the machines together, the first one. So now it should be set up properly to receive. Sorry, I did it again. I connected into the wrong ones. One of these days I'll actually get it. Okay, so take these out. Take this out. Take this out. Take this out. Okay, now we got it. So what we need to do, we're going to have them facing to the right like that. We're going to have another one here, unfortunately, because it's just that tight of a squeeze. So we'll connect those up, connect that merger there, connect that merger there, connect that one there. There we go. Okay, so I was making that about 10,000 times more complicated than it needed to be. It's literally just those that merger, that merger, that merger, and that merger all need to merge together to be this one line here. So now you can just go ahead and I don't know why I was confusing everything and linking up all the ones that didn't need to be linked up. Yeah, so now you can just go ahead and do that for the rest of the groups going down. Don't make the same mistake I did that whole time, and it should be fine. So it's merging. You're basically just merging 1, 2, 3, and 4 together. I think that's why I complicated it on myself so much, was I was just not counting the right ones. Ooh-wee, there we go. We got belts all hooked up to feed our steel beam constructors now. So that will go ahead and be taken off our to-do list for today. And to end the episode off, I'm a few hours into recording this, which a little embarrassing, but we'll go ahead and throw these encased beam assemblers down on this bottom floor here, because otherwise this entire space is kind of just going to go to waste. I think what I'll do is, since these get fed by concrete and steel beams, we got the concrete over here, we got the steel beams right here. I'm going to turn them to face this way, because that's the way my blueprints are generally facing. So we go to our 3 assemblers, and make sure everything is going in that direction. What did I say? I needed 18, so I'm going to do 2 groups of 9. I get some really serious like motion blur behind the items for some reason. Anyway, so we'll go 1, 2, and 3. That's 9. Then I want to just do that one more time. We'll go 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Now we got 18 assemblers. They're going to be set to do the encased industrial beam. I need a total of 100 coming out of here. So we're going to go grab our calculator. 100 divided by 18 is 5. Ew. I don't like that at all. So I think what we'll do, let's find our recipe here. Encased industrial beam. Looks like they put 6 per minute. So it goes 6 times 18 is 108, so I need to get rid of 8. So we'll take 2 off here. Two off there, that's 4, 6, and 8 taken off. And then the rest of them can just be normal. Now we're just going to connect up all your belts here to your manifold lines. I like how we kind of have like a bit of a balance in this factory of like there's like some parts where we like paid attention to making it even, and then some part, and I mean in the blueprints for the most part, it's all manifold. I mean, I think generally a lot of people, when you're using the blueprints, you tend to stick to manifolds just because they take up less space. So now what I have to do is I need to take I'll take 2 lines of this. So we'll take our mergers here. We'll grab one right here. And then one can be a little further out like that. Put our belts in along here. So this will be one line. This can be the other. This is where it's handy to have blueprints or multiple versions of the same blueprint that just have the belts going in different directions. Because otherwise you end up being like me here, where you now have to run your steel beams all the way around the backside here. It's kind of cool. It gives definitely gives some life to the factory for sure. Oops, that's not where you go. So there we go. That'll be our steel beams coming in to make our encased industrial beams here. So now for this one, I'm going to have to take the front splitter off. I'm going to have to turn these. And so we'll take the lift off as well. And I can just clip it onto the belt here. So I want to turn it. I want to make sure the input is actually coming from the outside now. Same thing on this one. A little finicky, but we'll get it in there. So we'll grab the lifts, you can put those back on. And then we'll need a second lift coming down the backside. First, we're going to put in the floor hole though. That floor hole is going to go right there. That one's going to go right there. Wait. How am I doing a floor hole? They're on this floor already. Never mind. Take away the floor holes. Sorry about that. So these are getting concrete. So this one we'll have to lift up and over a second time. There we go. Little crossover, not a big deal. I probably could have had a better way of doing that, but that's okay. So I think what I'll do now is we'll just get the belts hooked up to the concrete here, so each one's coming out of here. It's going to feed one of those lines that you just saw me make. So we're going to loop this back around. We'll loop it out a little further just so it's not like trying to hook up into itself. Bring that along the line here. There we go. Turn that like so. And there you go. That'll be the concrete feeding into the assemblers here for our encased industrial beams. So just to finish it off, go ahead and just throw in the last bit of your manifold lines in between here that I tend to forget to do most of the time. And then you're just going to want to connect, like there's a lot of power that still needs to be connected between all machines. I'm not going to worry about that yet. I'll probably do that more towards the end. But we at least have everything set up now for the most part. That's the encased beam assemblers. We even got all our inputs and outputs finished. Oh, the only thing I didn't run over was the limestone. You guys can go ahead and do that while you're waiting for the next one. But yeah, we did get all our coal and iron ore starting to feed into the system, so those are ready to go. Any questions about anything I've been doing all along, if you're trying to build this as well, let me know in the comment section, or hop into the Discord. I can always run you through it as well. Thank you guys again so much for bearing with me through another episode. This was definitely a cool one so far. We got a nice big factory layout on this floor, and like I said, we got a couple hundred constructors more to go, almost 100 more assemblers to go, and some manufacturers. So like the next one's definitely going to be action packed. You're going to see me placing down a lot of machines, but I mean the next one's really going to be mainly a lot about screws. But this was one of the hardest parts, I think, of the build to be taken care of, was splitting the actual ore up. And then the other more like difficult slash part that's going to need attention is the 3,800 screws that we're going to be making and figuring how to split those up. But that's what this second floor is going to be, all about those constructors. And then we'll just kind of go from there. So like I said, thank you guys again so much for hanging out with me for another episode. Really appreciate you guys. Appreciate you getting the channel up to 800. And I'll see you guys on Thursday to finish this factory off.